I'm going to go out here on a limb tonight. I'm going to discuss something that doesn't seem to be important to the majority of our people, and that is the future. When I say important to our people, I mean black people, because this broadcast focused specifically on us, on black people. I'm not interested in anyone else. Not interested in other groups around the world and what they're doing and whatnot. I think that our sole focus should be on us and our survival into the future, our evolution. Black people have this mindset, the majority of our people have this mindset where the future is not real to them because they have a day-by-day mentality. If something's not affecting them today, it's not real to them. You know, tomorrow is not real to them. However, the only real thing in life is change, and tomorrow brings change. And we're going to speak about that tonight because it doesn't look too bright for our people. Well, it does look bright for some of our people, but for most of our people, it looks bleak. I am the intellectual 괡ᴜᴛᴜRᴇ, and this is State of Mentel Radio. Tonight, we're going to be discussing a future world without black people, the reality of that. Now, many people will sit here and say that can't happen. That's not real. You know, they need us here. We're going to be on the planet. You know, black people ain't going nowhere. You know, we the owners, makers, cream of the planet Earth, fathers and mothers of civilization, gods of the universe. You know, we creators of all of this. So where we going? We the natural, this, that, and the third, and you know everything that black people think. You know, we give ourselves this all this self-aggrandizement, and you know, build ourselves up to be more important than what we actually are. You know, when the truth of the matter is, because all we're going to deal with tonight is truth. Our people really, at this point, are serving no purpose in society. The majority of our people are serving no purpose at all. We're not at the forefront of technology and doing things. We're not together as a people. Many of our people don't know what their purpose is for being here, even existing and living. When you ask people, and you could ask any one of our, you know, randomly go out and ask black people. And I'm not saying everybody else knows their purpose for being here who is not black, but I'm saying this will be a heavy question amongst black people. If you ask our people, what is your purpose for being? What is your purpose? The majority of our people, what is your purpose for being here, living? What do you feel that, you know, you're here to accomplish or achieve? A lot of our people will draw a blank. A lot of them will say something along the lines of, you know, I'm just here to live my life and, you know, whatever, and something just real trivial, right? And when people can no longer figure out or can't figure out or draw a blank when it comes to their reason for living, then after a while, the great mental order of how things set up is that these people are no longer necessary. It's like having 6 fingers. Do you need 6 fingers? Do you need that 6th finger when 5 is perfectly usable? You don't need that 6th finger. Eventually, it'll fall off because you're not using it. Just like you'll have teeth in your mouth. If it's not being utilized, certain teeth are not being utilized, they're going to eventually fall out. The ones you use pretty much every day, those are the ones that up front you clean, those are pretty much, for the most part, stay around. Utilization, usefulness, that's what decides whether you will be here tomorrow. And see, our people have a selfish mentality when it comes to the future and tomorrow, because our people feel like, you know, I'm not going to be here tomorrow. I'm going to be dead and gone, so whatever happened in the future is going to happen in the future. I'm not going to be here. And I always say, but what about your children? What about the babies? What about the ones who are coming behind us? The future of the black race. Do you care about that? See, because if you have children, you should care. Because why bring them here in the first place? The purpose of bringing children here into this world is to pave out a future for them. And hopefully they're going to bring about a better future and be productive people in the world. So, of course, you would want to, you know, when you have children, I would hope that you're grooming them to affect change and be something positive in the future to make this world a better place. You know, for their children and the continuation of your genetics, because you do come back in your genetics. You do travel through your genetics. That's real. That's a reality. You do travel through your bloodline. You do travel through your genetics. You'll turn up maybe 4 or 5 generations later. We spoke about that as far as life after death and and the logical explanation of life after death, and we went into the whole topic of coming back through your genetics when you are necessary, when you are needed, when you are in the memory of people. You will resonate and you will bring yourself back through your genetics because your mentality was that strong that it rendered that you would resonate and come back into the world again where you were needed. I always stress that you should make yourself useful in the world, make an impression. All right? A lot of our people don't serve no purpose. A lot of our people are not making impressions in life. Be it good or bad, they're not making any impressions. So they serve no purpose. We're going forward in a new millennium with old ways of thinking. We're not the driving force in the new mentality of tomorrow. Change is imminent. Change is constant. Change is real. We're sitting here reading out of old books, still talking about the Bible and the Quran. We're still talking about God and Jesus. We're still talking about Egyptians and Africans and all of this other thing. All this, we're still talking about things in the past that have nothing to do with us, and we're not carving out a future for ourselves. You got people who are sending their children to school to be next scientists, doctors, lawyers for the future, and we're not thinking like that. Our mind is set on a submental level. Our mind is set on stupidity. Our minds are set on nonsense. Our minds are set on a Jerry Springer mode of, excitement and adulation and just nonsense, just talking about nothing, talking about causes that really are not going to help in our evolution. Generic way of thinking. There's no group effort. There's no collective that's moving into tomorrow. The Chinese, they're not saying that. The Jews, they're not thinking like that. The rest of the white race, the Anglo-Saxons, these people are moving together. They're working together. They are moving as a collective, as a group into the future. They have a goal and a mark that they want to hit in life where they want their children to go. Hell, they talking about moving, going out and pioneering other planets, which they will do in time. Making other planets livable. That's what they're talking about. And our people are still talking about the Bible and the Quran and arguing over religious beliefs and metaphysics and Pan-Africanism and Egyptology and a bunch of books that don't mean nothing to us. These people are talking about carving out a new world elsewhere for the future. I watched this documentary over the weekend called The Story of Us about America and the founding of America and what it went through, through the Revolutionary War and things of that nature. And, it was bare bones. It was a very, very good documentary. It was like about 4 parts. I watched the whole thing. And it talked about how George Washington and the troops, they had blacks fighting with them and everything, how they went about and they was fighting, they was fighting and how the war was bloody in the Revolutionary War and how, smallpox spread. They said that they learned how to fight smallpox and vaccinate against that from something they saw black people doing with blood infusions and clotting. I forget what they said, but they said it's something they learned from the Africans about stopping the smallpox. And it was taking antibodies and smearing it on the person who's infected to stop the spread of the smallpox. And they was raw with it. They kept it real with everything. They, let you know how this country was founded, the war and everything, and it wasn't. You could tell it wasn't sugarcoated. It was real. Up into slavery, they talked about everything. But reason why I bring that up is because the people that were fighting to take control of this country, the white man was fighting to take control of this country, killing off the Indians, enslaving blacks, and doing what they did. Like I said, on some kind of level, you gotta respect that in a sense. That these people were willing to go all out to take a country and make it their own. And transform it and make it livable for them. You got to respect that on some level. You can hate it. You can say, oh, the devil, you sticking up for the devil and this, that, and the third, but you're living here. You're living here, so you don't hate them that much. You're utilizing the services that were set up or for the blood of other people. We utilizing these things. I'm utilizing them. Everybody's utilizing these things. So do you sit up here and you get an attitude, and tomorrow you're going to still get up, go to work, go get your coffee, do whatever you do in this society and you live in, and understanding that this thing was put up, these roads and these places where you live were cleared out by the blood of other people, by enslavement. These things were set up and people got rich and wealthy and built the economy of this system on blood, sweat, and death, because they saw a bigger picture than just the dead bodies. They saw a bigger future in it. They didn't get held up by, slavery and was it wrong, was it right. They didn't get held up by whether it was right to take the Indians' land from them and this, that, and the third. They saw a bunch of people who were living on the land, so-called Native Americans, and they wasn't doing nothing but eating buffalo and, setting up teepees and things like that. They had a bigger picture. And when people have a bigger picture for the future, it always trumps the smaller picture of people just living and doing nothing, These people built a society for the future, and we are living in that society in the future. We are in the future from that time living in this society. So where do we go from here? Now they're talking about going to other planets and building, setting up colonies, setting up planets, to make them livable for the future. So these people have their mind set on the future. Do we? Are we willing to put aside all of the things that don't work for us in the future, that's not going to work for us, in order for us to evolve and move into the future as a collective, as a strong body of people, where we're supposed to be moving ahead of everybody else? Because as much as we talk about the past societies, I always say we are supposed to make them look like tribal people. The Egyptians, all the people that built the Sphinx and the pyramids, all the people we marvel at. In this point in time, when we up from where we at, we're supposed to make them look like tribal people. They're supposed to look primitive to us compared to what we're supposed to be doing right now today. If we are descendants of these people, we're supposed to be further ahead than these people. However, because we got caught up in this submental way of thinking here, because we got caught up in race mixing, because we got caught up in homosexuality and abortions, STDs, unchecked illnesses, all of these things we got caught up in, we are not progressing. We've made our problems, we let our problems that we have in this society stand in the way or be an obstacle in the way of our evolution, in the way of our future evolution. So as we let these small problems become bigger and bigger and let them magnify themselves in our vision of what we're supposed to be doing, there is no evolution for our people. You look in Hollywood, right? I said that I'm going to talk about a lot of things that are going on in society where you got people who are working in the process of phasing our people out in this society. I talked about, I'm going to speak about Hollywood. There's no coincidence that you can, and it's been going on for a long time, you barely see a black man and a black woman together on screen in a romantic situation. Because what that does is, when you see that, when you see black men and black women together, that puts an idea in the heads of black men and black women who are watching to come together, to love one another, to breed, to make children. Children equals future, more people. So if you're seeing that, that makes you look at black family, the reality of black family in the future, as something viable, something you want to live out. I said about the Cosby Show. That was the biggest tool in bringing about a lot of black marriages and black families in that time, in that era. And I believe they did it. They did some research on that, on the Cosby Show, and they, like I said, people as powers that be in society, they do research on everything. They check time frames and when people are going to college, when people are getting married, and especially our people. Our people are monitored in society, just like everybody, but especially our people. They check time frames and things like that when people are getting married the most, when they're going to college. I guarantee you, if you go and check the statistics of the time, from the time, the 8 years the Cosby Show was on, showing a loving black family and the children and together, you'll see more black families more black couples, I should say, men and women getting married and bringing about sustainable black families and being focused on the future as opposed to now, where you don't have that family structure to see in TV like that. Those things were wiped out. Same as when I talked about black people going to college from seeing the shows like A Different World. Because when we tend to see something, when we tend to visualize something, when we can see it on movies, we can see it on TV, it becomes three-dimensional to us. It becomes real to us because we can see it, we can hear it, we can almost feel as though we can touch it. It resonates to us on a whole different level. We're hearing it, we're seeing it. So we're visualizing it. Pictures are coming into our heads. And those are pictures and thoughts of the future. You are thinking about yourself in that future form. How would I be as a husband? The black man is thinking when he's looking at the husband and wife together, Cliff and Claire Huxtable. How would I be as a husband? The woman's thinking, I would like that. I would like a family like my husband, my black husband, my children. They're thinking about the future. They're not thinking about that point in time because they're not with nobody at that point in time. They're thinking about the future. And they don't want you to think about a future in this society. The powers that be don't want you to think about a future in this society. See, because from your genetics, from your bloodline, will come change. If you put people, natural people, like I always say, our people were the natural people on the planet Earth, if you constantly bringing them forward in a new day, in a new generation, they will bring about a child will come out of that union, out of that genetic, that will bring about a change in the future. All right? So that has to be stopped. That has to be altered. Things have to be derailed in a sense. The number 13 speaks about a new day. It's considered to be a bad luck number in the society. But it's considered to be bad luck because 13 represents a new day, of bringing about a close of the old and bringing about something new. When you bring about something new, that is the destruction of the old. So the people that set up the old ways, the people who are structured in the old ways of living, that structure will fall down, and a new way will be made available in its place. That's why 13 is considered a bad luck number. In a lot of buildings, a lot of office buildings in society, there is no number 13. There's no 13th floor for a reason, all right? Because they consider it to be bad luck. However, it is a good number for our people. 13th tribe, 13th people, new people. The 1 and 3 equals the number 4, which represents a fourth dimension or a mental state. Higher mental communication, future thought, advanced ways of thinking. If you're following what I'm saying here, it's talking about the future thought and moving past certain things, because once we have the ability to move past certain things in our way of thinking, then we're going to bring about a change in ourselves for the better. But a lot of our people are stuck. A lot of our people don't want to really do that. A lot of our people are stuck on material things. A lot of our people are stuck in the moment. So the future is not real to them. You got certain people that are teaching that, there's no such thing as the future. There's no such thing as time. And I'm like, how is there no such thing as time? Time is real. Time is very real. Because I asked the person who told me that, they said there's no such thing as time. I said, how is time not real? I said, when you came here, this was a man. I said, when you came here, were you a full-grown man? He says, no. I said, you came here, you were a baby. You were born as a baby. He said, yes. I said, and between the time you were a baby up until the time you were a man, it took what to get you to become a man? It took time, right? He said, yeah. I said, but I thought time didn't exist. Future does exist. Past does exist. Present does exist. We're constantly moving into the future. The present is the vehicle that we move in toward the future, okay? Through time, through change, through rotation around the sun. That is a continuous time. It is a rotative time, and we are in a rotation of time until we rotate into a new order. And we are going to rotate into a new order, a futuristic order. And a lot of our people are not going to make it. A lot of our people are not going to be able to evolve into this future way of thinking. A lot of our people are not going to. That's a reality. Do you know, when you look at those things, when you look at those billboards where they showed you the black women who are aborting their children, and they show you, there's a show on TV One where it's talking about Find Our Missing, right? A lot of times they think that these black kids are just going missing like that, and there's no rhyme or reason. Somebody's kidnapping these children, and you hear all kinds of things. A lot of times, the parents are killing the children. They're killing their own children. Okay? I said that our people now have the mentality of, the majority of our people now have the mentality of animals. This is real. Our people will take the lives of their own children and get abortions. The beast has talked them into, and they went with it willingly because they vibrate on a low mental frequency of killing their children, pulling their babies out of them, and flushing the children, or throwing the children away, throwing away the fetuses, like as if you're throwing away garbage into a waste paper basket. That's how abortion has been made to look. It's been made impersonal. You don't think about it. It's nothing. This is how simple it is. They promote it as a form of birth control. You understand? This is what they promote it as. Kill your children. Many young black women have had 4 and 5 and 6 abortions like it's nothing. It's a regular thing to them. It desensitizes them to life. So once you're desensitized to the life that's growing inside you, there is no future for you. You don't have any thought to the future or anything that's going to alter your future. The world to you is clubs, music, dancing, sex. That's the world to you. Anything beyond that isn't real. So it's nothing for a woman, a so-called black female, I don't say a black woman, a so-called black female to kill her child or not to have any regard for the child's life. You ever see these black females, young black females out here who will be walking in the street on a cell phone, and they'll have the damn baby running all in the street, and the baby, I done stopped that one time. Baby was about to run into the street. Beautiful little baby about to run into the street. She on the cell phone, not even caring. I'm chasing her baby up the block. Something's wrong there. See, when you got people who are like that, and a lot of people say, oh, well, it was probably just a mistake. You make it more out of it than what it was. She wasn't paying attention. But when you start to see a whole lot of incidents like that, when you start to see women who are beating their children, having men around their children who are molesting their children, beating their children, killing their children, there's a pattern being set there. See, it's not a coincidence any longer. There's a pattern being set. There's a depravity that's being fostered in the minds of the black race. Okay? There's a depravity, an animalistic depravity that's being fostered in the minds of black people to destroy their children, to disregard their children. That's why the powers that be in the society had no problem with putting up that billboard which said, and I used it as the advertisement to this show, is that black children are an endangered species. Now, why would they put that up on a big billboard? Right? They're letting you know. They're letting you know that they're phasing you out. You're on your way out of here. Through abortions, through the hands of your own people, through black men killing each other off in the ghettos. You understand? Through race mixing. See, that's another way to kill your genetic, because you bringing children forward who no longer identify with black people or who you are. They don't identify with that. Halle Berry, she had a child with a white man, and she said that the child is black. The white man said, my child is not black. So there's a dilemma there. You got a lot of black women today, even the so-called natural ones, who are going and getting with the white man because they have this self-hate for their own kind. See, it was easy to blame the white man or blame another race of people for wanting to get rid of our people into the future and not having our people here for the future. But what do you do when you got people who look like you who don't want you here? That's causing a self-genocide in the race. destroying our race for the future? What do you do when you got people that look like you that don't want to see you here? See, the so-called white man, he's not the only criminal or the only one behind this helping this process. You got a lot of our own people that's helping this process. They're helping the process along. A lot of people in the so-called conscious movement are helping the process along. And they're doing it unwillingly. Some may be doing it unwittingly. They don't know. They're helping the process along to, cut us out of the future. Because they're creating certain movements and teaching certain ideologies that are not focused on our future. When you teach an ideology that is not focused on the survival, that's not focused on the sustaining, the survival, and the success of a people, when you're teaching about just money, when you're teaching about just history and things that happened in the past that can't help us in the future, and you going and arguing and debating about things that that's not going to help us in the future, then you're causing confusion. You are in the way of the evolution of our people. You're one of the people that's now an obstacle in the way of our evolution, because you're not talking straight talk to our people. You're not talking evolutionary talk to our people. I didn't say revolutionary talk. Revolution is dead. I'm saying you are not speaking evolutionary talk to our people. Forward talk, forward movement talk, future thought to our people. That's what we need to be focused on. You'll be hard-pressed to get black people to think about the future. It's easy to get any conversation with the so-called conscious people. If you notice that, it's easy to get a conversation with these people. I don't care, the black, African, power, Egyptology, metaphysics, paying that 5%, the Muslims. I don't care who it is. It's easy to get a conversation going with them about the past, about the Bible, about the Quran, about the lessons, about all these things. But start talking about the future. And these Negroes will clam right up. They'll look at you like that's not real. So when the future is not real to you, then plan on not being a part of the future. Plan on not seeing the future. Plan on not being a part of the evolution, because make no mistake about it, the so-called black race is going through an evolution in this day and time. Some of our people are going to come out of the black race. The black race is not going to make it. Remnants of the black race are going to make it. A new people are going to come out, a stronger people. Like a body that's fat, right? And as the body starts to work out and burn the fat and lose all of the excess weight that's not needed, in order for the body to become lean and firm and strong, the fat burns away. That fat represents the black race. And that lean, stealth body that will be left behind, that remnant, will be the bright race. Pure. I had an interesting conversation today. Yesterday. And I was discussing the ideology and the way of thinking of the State of Mental. The State of Mental is a future intelligence organization or future intelligence movement, of which I am the mentor to or the teacher to. And we are advocating the evolution of a new people out of the black race. Out of the black race, because we realize that the majority of our people, the so-called black race, are like that body of flab that's dying, that's useless, that's serving no purpose. And I was speaking to a sister about that, and she found the idea of what we're doing intriguing, and restarting a new people within the black race and eventually moving out of the black race to bring about something stronger and a new people, and elect people, a people that are focused on the future, because we can't wait on everybody in the black race. That's not going to happen. That's not a reality. We're not trying to put a lot of energy into everybody. We want the ones of our people, because, like I said, when you have a strong, stealth, lean body that's serious and that's focused on the future, you can move much better than having the massive, flabby body of people that don't know if they want to move forward. You got to constantly be talking to these people, begging these people, convincing these people to move forward, when forward is the only way we can go. There is no backwards. There is no stagnant. Stagnation means death. There is no back. It's literally like we're moving forward, and we're going to be forced to move forward in that A bridge is like we're on a bridge and the bridge is collapsing behind us. That bridge represents time, and it's literally collapsing behind us. And if we don't move forward and constantly be stepping on new road to move forward on that bridge, then we're going to fall behind everybody else. See, the people of the past, the people of the future are snatching the bridge out from behind us. So it's no time to be stagnant no more. We can't do it. See, black people think just because they got their little jobs in this society, they think because they getting their little money, they got their houses, they got their cars, they got their little lives and whatnot. They figure everything's okay. Yeah, whatever. This guy's talking, whatever. But that could be going in a heartbeat. It could be going in a heartbeat. You understand that? People could come here, and you could be out of a job in a heartbeat. Look at the towns in around this country. All the people that are laid off, out of work, losing their homes, losing their mortgages. Their whole world is ending right in front of their face. College graduates, people who had jobs making six figures, losing their jobs. Their whole world, and they thought they would never, ever, lose those jobs, lose those good jobs, lose those houses, things like that. Because in this society, there is no security in the beast. There is none. You might be with him one day, and you're doing well, and you're making money, and you're driving your nice car, and you're up. Next minute, you down in the gutter. Look at Wesley Snipes. Look at a lot of these black people who had millions of dollars in this society. One slip up, you didn't pay tax, things like that. He's sitting in jail. Take it all away from you. So you black people, the majority of us who can't even think on in terms of $1 million. You don't think your job can go just as fast? You think you're secure in this society? You really think you're going to live another 20 or 30 years to collect Social Security checks and benefits? You really believe that? It was a time where George Bush was talking about just giving people, cashing out and giving people the option to take their Social Security money. Now, why would he do that? Why would he tell people that they had an option? I believe he was telling people, George Bush Jr., telling people they had an option to just go ahead and take their Social Security money. Whatever you worked for, just go ahead and take it. It probably won't be what probably be like a little $20,000-$30,000 or whatever, and just that's it, cash out, that's it. Because that money that you might be waiting on, you thinking, when I get 60 years old, I can count on getting maybe like $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, which is nothing. Those people in Enron, they thought the same thing. 401ks and all these things that our people think, is going to be here. The system is going to sustain it. So they didn't have they didn't have time to take things beyond that way of thinking seriously. They don't think things are going to happen because they think they got 401ks and mortgages and they got pensions and all these things that they think is going to be waiting on. That's why our people don't really take a message of evolution and future thought and building something greater for tomorrow seriously. They don't think that way. Our people don't think that way. They don't think about the possibility of building something beyond this society, another economy beyond this society. They don't think like that. You got people in this society, foreign people who can go outside of America and set up another economy because they've learned how to come here and set up an economy. They can come in your neighborhood, open a store. Next thing you know, you patronizing them. Next thing you know, they're sending their children to college off of your money. They're teaching their children, their daughters, they operate cash registers in your community. And they're teaching them very valuable lessons, future lessons about business and how to deal with people who don't look like them. Future thought. All right? Listen to the music check out the music that our people listen to, the young people, the younger people, the hip-hop. Notice that it's no coincidence that everything is geared toward a hip-hop sound. We moved away from the soul and the R&B and all that. Whitney Houston was the last one of a dying breed to go out who represented that taste of the old flavor of R&B and things like that. So a lot of these people are going out the window and just dying off, and they're bringing in a new breed of people who have this this lyrical content that's pretty much garbage. The messages is not going anywhere. It's just basically dead music that you're listening to. See, when you heard music, soulful music back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and things like that, it gave you thoughts of a brighter future, painted a better picture in your head. You know, it produced something in you, a love in you, a peace in you. Not today. The music today produces a savage mentality in the people. And people who have a savage mentality, what does that breed in them? People who are not thinking about tomorrow. People who go out upon listening to rap music and things like that and want to go out and rob and steal and just live for the day. Have sex unprotected, engage in homosexuality, all kinds of things. Everything is just done on the spur of the moment. There's no thought to it because you're living in the moment. That's what the music produces in you, a mindset of living in the moment. There is no future. That's why they produce this kind of music and force the people that want to come into the music industry now to sing that kind of music, dead music. Because they know once they program dead music into the minds of our people, we're not thinking about the future anymore. We're not thinking about a bigger picture anymore. Everything is, right now, all I'm thinking about is right now at this moment. There is no future. So if you can breed the people to think about no future, then these people will not exist into the future. I said our people to change in the future. We are to change in the next order, in the next world that's coming. However, if you get people not to focus on the future and not care about the future, you don't have to worry about a change. Things will pretty much stay the same, or you can alter the change or add an artificial change to the future yourself, like the white man and the rest of the society is doing. The so-called human race. You're being edited out of society, especially starting with you, black man. You're being edited out of society. Unchecked illnesses. The process of slavery. The music, the STDs, all this thing. Ever since we got here, ever since we were of no more use after slavery in the society, there was a point in time of, just basically and gradually trying to get rid of our people here. Gradually, over time, trying to get rid of our people. You couldn't get rid of 20 million people just like that. So you gradually had to do it. In a way, you had to figure something out. Because we are like that dynamite that sits in the kitchen. You have to gradually and you have to slowly remove the dynamite out of your house because you don't want the house to explode. So you have to do it gradually. You have to take it out gradually. Take it out through diseases, through mixing it down, through watering down the children. You understand? Through dumbing down the people, making the children, making the people of the future generation slowing down their mentality. And you hand your children over to these people every day. You hand your children over to society to eat your children, to feed on your children every day. This is the future. They've already imagined a world without our people. It's already been imagined. It's already been thought about. Okay? It's already been thought about. It will appeal to the black woman. I got a prediction to make. There's going to come a time where there'll be a black woman president, right? And the mix of that is she's going to have a white husband. Okay? Now, what will that do to the dynamic of the black man and the black woman? What will that do? That will make the black woman look at the black man on a whole nother level. It will cause a divide in the black man and the black woman, number one, because other black women look at this black woman on the pedestal as president, and they'll place her over the black man. Then they'll look at the white man standing right by her, which will then open up to interracial marriages, more in this country, right? So then from there, the black woman is not breeding black children anymore. They're breeding something else because they have a white husband now. They're breeding biracial children. They're going to come up with another name for the children. So there's no more black males being born or black men being born because they have white fathers. they have the genetic or foreign genetic in them. Same thing with you black men with other races of women. You're not being enticed into being with the black woman anymore. You got a lot of so-called religious groups out here, and I swear for some reason I think they're getting paid where they're advocating that the black man go with other women. Get anybody but the black woman. Why is that? Why is that? Why mix your genetic? Why tear up your bloodline? It's obvious that you were meant to be together genetically because your seed does not mix well into other people's seeds and bloodlines. So it's obvious you were meant to be together. So you're messing with something that's naturally supposed to be meshed together. We don't mix in well with others. We don't play well with others. We're supposed to move forward together, man and woman together, black man, black woman together. But that is not being advocated in the society today. Through television, through movies, through billboards and posters. Why is that? Is this something that's being done purposely? Young black girls, you turn around, I was the picture with Dolly Parton and Queen Latifah and the young girl Keke Palmer, and she was with the white kid. Right? Is this being done purposely? Something new. To annihilate than the white guy. Something new. Look at the titles that these movies get. It's all to breed a certain way of thinking into your mind, to accept something different, something new. And in accepting something new, you're accepting the breeding out of your genetics. You're accepting the wiping out of your future. Because once you black men, you lay down with women of other races. Once you black women lay down with women of other races, you're producing something that's not totally you anymore. You're producing an artificial genetic. You're producing a hybrid. It's not a black person you're producing anymore. You're producing a hybrid. And it will take at least 4 generations to breed that blood out and get back a perfected person or a black person again. But they would have to mix with other black people. That's the reality. We think the same. You understand? Our genetics carry memory on them. Okay? So if you add the genetics of someone else in who is not like you, who has a different procession of thought than you, because don't think, we all the same under the blood and under the skin and things like that. And our people got this mentality. We all the same under the skin, and we copied that from the white man. He tells us we all the same. We got blood and we got hearts and things like that. And I said, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous that we obviously are not the same under the skin, because how you look on the surface dictates what's going on inside you. So if you look different from everybody on the surface, then obviously you're not the same on the inside. I'm going to say it again. Obviously, you're not the same as everybody on the inside because you look different on the outside. How you look on the outside is dictated by what's going on inside of you. There's something different about your genetics from everybody else. You understand that? Now, the white man, the Asian, the East Indian, all those people, they got the straight hair and things like the same kind of hair and pretty much the same features and small frames. So obviously, they have the same, pretty much along the lines of the same genetic. We don't have the same genetic as everybody else. We have a different procession of thought. We have a different way of movement. We have a different, obviously a different physical makeup, different biological makeup, obviously. So that means that our way of thinking is different. Our procession of thought is different. Our future thoughts are going to be different. So if you edit that, if you alter that out, if you mix that with something, what's going to happen? You're altering the procession of thought. You're altering the procession of genetics. You're causing a damage or a crack in the future of our genetic. You're causing a crack in it. You're throwing it off its course. Because as you're supposed to be mixing in with your own and producing people that look like you, who think like you, that are on the same level as you, that are moving forward into the future, that's called a natural procession, okay, of thought and physical or biological order. Adding something outside that is foreign is an artificial additive, which will throw it off its track. I remember young white woman I knew. She had a baby from a black man, right, brother? And she said the baby, comes out mixed, would not drink her milk. She said the baby would not drink her milk, would not nurse from her breast. That the baby was allergic to her breast milk, but would drink the milk of a black woman's milk, would not accept the white mother's milk. So all kinds of things like this happen. The baby was naturally rejecting that which was foreign and genetic to her, even though she carried some of the genetic of the mother, but she rejected that which was foreign to her. Obviously, she didn't carry enough. That's the same way when you're trying to breed an artificial way of thinking into our children today. Homosexuality, lesbianism, this white mentality where you got young black kids trying to be skateboarders now and talking like white kids now. That's altering their future. They're not supposed to be doing that. You're altering the future of these people. Why? Because you black men and black women refuse to stand up and raise your own children and educate your own children. So now you let this society raise them into the future and turn them off of their path of where they're supposed to be going, because you don't know where you're supposed to be going. You're not in tune with what you're supposed to be doing. I had this discussion with this sister about what we were trying to do in the state of Intel, and that is bring our people to a high level of ultra standing and put our people on the path collectively, financially, mentally, and physically together as a new people. And she said, do you think you're the only one that's doing it? She asked me. She said, there's other people out there that's trying to do this, and they're trying to bring knowledge and whatnot. And I said to her, if people are not trying to, and what they're teaching, if they're not advocating a program, a system, a movement, a flag, or something where our people can collectively come together as a family and build and live together, then I can't take you seriously. I can't take your lectures seriously. If you're not talking about the future evolution of our people, which is what we're supposed to be talking about today in this day and time, I can't take you seriously. Because now you're just talking. You're just there to get some money, and you're just talking, and you're just entertainment for the people. We don't need to be entertained no more by pastors, preachers, con artists, charlatans, people who just public speaking. I said, I'm not, if that's what people want to go see, that's fine, but I'm not here to do that. So I said, we alone in our future thought and our evolution for our people. Everybody doesn't have our best interests at heart for the future. A lot of people are only concerned with themselves. A lot of our people have this individualistic mindset. They only want to get paid. They're looking for money for themselves, and that's it. They're not interested in the future of our people. The future is not real as a collective with our people. It's all about them. And that's not what we're here for within the state of Intel. We're speaking about the future evolution, and we're doing something about it, the future evolution of our people, the ones of our people who are focused on the future building of something greater, the evolution of our people. We're working together with that and with them. So it's a slow climb and whatnot, but we're about to launch something out here in this in New York and going through Baltimore and through the different cities for the state of Intel, and that is the rebuilding of the black man, the bringing about of the bright race, from black men to supermen, from black women to superwomen. We're talking about relaunching and bringing back out or rebuilding the black man and black woman, because we are messed up. We have to start with reality of where we are. A lot of our people don't think they're messed up. A lot of our people think we're fine out here in society, but we're not. We don't know how to take care of ourselves. We don't know how to build anything for ourselves. We're not thinking about building schools for our children. We're not thinking on a higher level mentally. We're not thinking about being able to sustain ourselves. So if a teaching and a doctrine is not doing that, I said, if it's not breeding, as my mother said to me, she said a movement should breed survival, sustainability, and success. The 3 S's should be focused on in any movement: survival, sustainability, and success. Those 3 elements: financial success, mental success, higher mental success, educational success, all these things as a collective of new people, achievers, overachievers. This is what we should be turning out. And this is what we're going to do within the state of mental. I don't hear anybody else talking like this. I don't hear anybody else talking about the future. If I heard anybody talking about the future, let me hear it. Because a lot of our people, they got this idea like, they're going to base their movements on money and us just getting money. And I said that that's not the answer to our people's problem. We can get money. Money's not the answer to the problem. Because if you focus your movement and what you're trying to do and you're saying that the future solution to the problem of our people is money, then you're focused on a bunch of people that's just coming together to get money. You're not cleaning up their mentality. You're not giving them any structure. You're not giving them any codes and codes of conduct to go by to govern themselves and how we're going to interact with each other. You're just breeding a bunch of money-hungry people. All you're going to have is a bunch of greedy Negroes that are coming together. They just there just to get paid, just to give them. And all you're doing in breeding those kind of people is you're going to breed them to give their money right back to the white man, to buy Nikes, to buy Timberlands and everything else. That's all you're breeding. To give the white man money for cars and things like that. That's all you're breeding. If you tell them that the only answer to our people's problems is money, that's not the answer. Because our people got money. But we do stupid things with it. We do stupid things with it. Why? Because we listen to a music that breeds stupidity in us. It's called hip-hop. We listen to a music that breeds stupidity. And they attached the music. They attached that music called hip-hop onto the R&B. That's why they say hip-hop R&B artist, hip-hop this kind of artist, hip-hop that kind of artist. They attached it onto everything purposely to dumb down our people, to take away their future way of thinking, to limit you solely to now. Don't have you think about the future. Don't have you think about a brighter tomorrow. Don't have you thinking about evolution of the black man or the evolution of the black woman. Where are you evolving to? Are you supposed to be going somewhere? Do you see yourself in an evolutionary process? If you don't see yourself in an evolutionary process, then there's no reason for you to be existing. If you don't see a new man or a new woman coming out of who you are, in this point in time, if you don't see that, then why are you here? What are you here? Are you here just to eat food, take up space, go to your job every day? What are you here for? What is your purpose? Yes, brother, I will be out there in Baltimore. Thank you, Brother Bay. I will be out there. From black men to Superman, we will be coming to Baltimore. We're going to launch here in May 1st. We're going to build a state of mental stronghold here. We're going to rebuild the black man and rebuild the black woman in this society, and we're going to go throughout the world. We're not going to just stand around and talk about no old, outdated books and talk about lectures and about Egypt and all. We're not doing that. We're a whole different other thing. We focused on the future. We're the only ones of our kind, and I'm saying it. We are the only ones of our kind. You got to draw the line in the sand. We're going to give our people new knowledge, new advanced knowledge that's going to move them into the future, financially, mentally, physically, into the future as a collective people. That's what we're saying within the state of mental. You got to draw the line in the sand and say, no, we're not doing what they do. Like that old song, Never Do What They Do by the Roots. We don't do what they do. We're not part of anything. We're not part of any of these other things out here. We're not out here. I'm not up here putting on shows and talking to people every Monday, which I'm going to start doing Wednesday and Friday because I got to go hard. I got to go harder, putting out CDs and putting out books and things like that for the evolution of my people, making the future clearer for my people, giving them more clarity. That's what we need in our lives. We need clarity in our lives. We need to become those supreme people that we've been talking about. Everybody been talking about the black man is God, we this, we that, but nobody's actually been living that out. The black woman is a goddess. Nobody's been living that out into a future. They making reference to people that done passed already. They talking about Egypt. They talking about Africa. They talking about the Quran. They talking about the Bible. We don't care about that no more. That done phased out in the state of mental. We don't care about your Qurans and your Bibles and Muhammad and the prophets and Jesus. None of that mean nothing to us. We moving forward. We the new people of the next day, of the next world. We the next people of the new world. That's what we're talking about. For those people who got a problem with that, whatever. Nobody should. Nobody should. We are the people of the next world. We're not interested in the people of the past no more. Anybody got any questions, feel free to call in, comment. This is our broadcast. It's not just my broadcast. This is our broadcast. 914-338-0504. Weigh in, call in if you got a comment, question, and whatnot. We're going to get this message out there. We're going to go hard. Like I said, we're going to have the CDs out. Our people are going to be out all over New York. We're sending brothers out, setting up tables and whatnot. We're going to hit the streets. We're going to be every place. And when you're building something new for the evolution of the people, a lot of our people who are stuck in the old, they're not going to want to see that happen. So like I said, we are up against ourselves. The enemy is not the white man. The enemy looks like us. You understand? The obstacle is us. You understand? Because a lot of our people don't want to move forward. They found security in the past, and in being stagnant, they found security. They're scared to move. You understand? But we're not going to be afraid to move. We can't. You have to draw the line in the sand and say, look, I'm not doing what other people are doing. We're doing something different. Because our people, the majority of our people, especially with the black woman, and just like any other one, but the black one especially, she wants security. She does want security. She wants structure in her life. I looked at when I ride through places like Williamsburg, and this is in New York City. I ride through communities like Williamsburg, and I see the Jews. And I see, the Orthodox Jews, and, the men, they're dressed a certain way, the women are dressed a certain way. And I see that there is a community there, a real community. And I refer to them as the real black community. They're the real black community. What we got here, a bunch of Negroes living in close vicinity of each other, is not a black community. They're the real black community. Why? Because they dressed all in black and they're a community. So they're the real black community. We not. We not no black community. We just a bunch of Negroes living in close proximity of each other. We got different opinions, different ideologies and stuff like that. So you can't pull people together based on it. It's either going to be one thing or it's not going to be nothing. One God, one flag, one future, one direction, one name. That's it. Make that decision. Anybody that's not, working toward the future, and everybody's not for the future and for that future thing to come out of all these old doctrines and things like that, then forget them, man. They're going to phase out anyway. You understand? I said there's going to be an evolution of people moving into the future anyway that's going to come out of the black race, and that's real. The more I keep saying it, you understand, the more it's going to become a reality. The more we think in that way, and y'all, obviously, a lot of you are going to start thinking this way because more and more people are listening to these radio broadcasts. We check the numbers. We see it. More and more people are listening to these radio broadcasts. So this message is catching on because y'all getting tired. You're getting tired of sitting amongst a bunch of Negroes who all they want to talk about is the Bible and the Quran, or they're just talking about a bunch of stupidity in their life that you really don't want to hear because you're evolving mentally. You're evolving mentally. They sitting around here arguing about things that don't matter. You understand? How is this going to help you in the evolution of who you are? What about you? Don't you count? Don't you count? Doesn't the evolution of you and who you are, doesn't that count? You becoming a greater person. You talking about some Asaru and some Aset and a bunch of people that are dead, or whether they lived or not. Who cares? Or what this African ruler did back in the, who cares? Be that great ruler yourself in this day and time. Be that great person today in this day and time for yourself. Be that person that your son and that your daughters are looking up to. They ain't got to look 10,000 years, 15,000 years back. They could look at you now, looking at what you're building for them, looking at what you're building for the future, for them. That's what they're supposed to be looking at. They're supposed to be looking at living gods and goddesses so that they can come in the image of those people who are you. They're supposed to be looking at you. They're not supposed to have to look 6, 7, and 10, 15 generations back to look at gods and get on some plane and fly all the way over to Egypt and look at some pyramids of that's falling down and stuff like that and worship some images. No disrespect to our ancient ancestors, but what I'm saying is that we are the ancient ancestors in modern time. We are them. In living form. We are living, breathing people, and we're not moving. We're not moving into the future because some people want to get stuck on, what Prophet Muhammad did, what Jesus did. Who cares? Who cares? what the Moors did. Who cares? Who cares? That stuff is not going to hold up in the future anyway. The people that run this thing, they done moved on, man. They moved on. They done moved on to a whole different way of thinking. They are governing this thing in a whole different way. They're not thinking about you. You're not a consideration. Y'all Negroes is like a small, the ones of you people who still with this, thinking that you're going to get something out of this society, that you're going to get a handout. Because everything I said is based on handout. They're not thinking about you. You're not in the equation of what they're thinking about. They're thinking about they already thinking about bringing forward that neutral race of people, and the black man, like I said, they'll take a piece of our black genetic. This is how they thinking, and the rest of the people will just be like, white and your neutral race people. You understand? You see, your East Indians. If you notice, these people are prominent here now. And I want you to also notice something too, that you see a lot of British actors, black, East Indian, white British actors that are playing parts that you think Americans are playing. You understand? You're starting to see, like I said, the Chinese basketball players now phasing out the black basketball players. They're bringing them all over. They're phasing you out of this society. You being phased out gradually. You don't even know it because you don't serve a purpose. You actually doing the job. You're actually giving them the black man and black woman, the average black man and black woman are actually giving the white man the thumbs up to go ahead and phase you out. You actually giving him the thumbs up. You're telling him to do it. How are you telling him to do it? Because you're doing nothing. When you, like I'm going to say it again, when you don't have any idea of why you're here, what your purpose is, then you will not be here anymore. Then you will produce enemies and people who will come up and wipe you out of here. So you're producing that in the minds of the white man and everybody else, those ones that vibrate on that same level. You're producing in the minds of these people to get you out of here because you don't really want to be here. The majority of our people really don't want to be here. You understand? They don't serve a purpose here. They don't understand what they're here for, what their purpose is. So they don't really need to be here. They don't really need to be here. They don't need to see that the future is not real to them. Make the future a reality to you, then you will be here. Make the future a reality. Constantly be thinking of things that you can do in the future. Don't be around people who have no idea. Ask the people you hang around, what do you see for yourself? And I'm glad the black woman is doing that now. I'm starting to see that as a trend in black women. Black women are starting to ask men who are potential mates and things like that they're going to be with, what do you see yourself in 5 years? I'm starting to see black women doing that. That's a sign that they're thinking in the black woman is starting, she's first, even though she's slow to do it, but she's first and starting to think about the future. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? And many of you black men are drawing a blank. Many of you are drawing a blank when it comes to that. You understand? You're drawing a blank. You don't know what to tell her because you're just thinking about getting in her pants. That's all. You ain't thinking about nothing in the future with her or beyond the future, even for yourself. You thinking about watching the football game tomorrow night, smoking a blunt later, and ain't talking about going to work tomorrow. That's all you thinking about, black man. You ain't thinking about nothing else. Your thoughts are limited to average black man. But I said we're going to raise above average people out of the black race. That's what we're after. We're after the above average people. We don't want everybody with us and what we're trying to do. We want the black men who are looking to be above average, who are looking to build something better than what's here, which is nothing, because there is nothing here. Like I said, I watched that documentary the other day, the story of us about how George Washington broke off from. It was a good documentary how they broke off and they formed United States and things like that, and all the things they had to go through to form this new government. And you gotta admire that. I don't care if you don't like the white man, you call him the devil. You gotta admire that. That was some gully gangster-ish. You know what I mean? It was. It was ballsy. The black man gonna have to do that one day. Whether we going out in masses to pioneer another country for ourselves to set up our own government, or eventually going out and pioneering another planet. That's the things I'm thinking about. See, because if you're not governing your future, if you're not free to build your own economy and govern your own future, then you'll never know your full potential. See, the white man knows his full potential in this society because pretty much if he makes the right circles and whatnot, he already has the color and the complexion for that protection, like Paul Mooney said. But once he gets into those certain circles and he starts to build and things like that, there is no ceiling. There is no limit to how great he can be here in his own society, which he set up. There's no limit. The black man has to know that. See, all the black man want to do, he's been trained to just pick up crumbs in this society, and he's satisfied with crumbs off the table of the white man. He's satisfied. He's satisfied being the white man's boy in this society. He don't want to build a better tomorrow or a future for his people. He's satisfied being a boy in this society. The black woman satisfied with being a girl, just just going to her little job, hopefully getting 5 figures or 6 figures every year or whatnot. That's the ultimate, and that's the hype to her. But she never knows true power. The black man never knows true power because they got to answer to somebody. They have to talk. They have to work within a vacuum controlled by other people. The future is in the people who are independent. See, we have to want this. See, once we start to come together, then you're going to start to see things open up for us. Once we start coming together and we starting to say we want to build schools to educate our children, we want to build places where we coming together as a collective to talk with each other and form think tanks within the state of Mentel and start thinking of ways to build up things for ourselves and build on our own enterprise. This is the thing that becomes beautiful because you got black men thinking independently amongst each other, bringing about a new reality that's independent of any other race of people. You understand that? Do you ultrastand that? Do you truly ultrastand how powerful that is to actually start the black man thinking again? Because I said before, y'all haven't been thinking for thousands of years on your own. You haven't been thinking. And it's hard as hell to jumpstart the minds of the black man. Hell, if you only knew. I done talk to people in these religious groups and these so-called black groups, and their minds are shut the hell off. There's no working brain going in there. None. All it is a bunch of beliefs, a bunch of childish beliefs, a bunch of idiotic ideologies they follow. Nothing based on intelligence, nothing based on logic. We're the only ones dealing with that in this day and time. And I'm not being funny, Sister Dawn. You out there, you listening to me, and you like, oh, newbie, you think yeah, we are. I talk to everybody. Yes, we are. We are the only ones, unfortunately, and I wish it wasn't like that. But it is. I'm going to just say it for what it is. We're the only ones that's dealing with logic and intelligence. Nobody else is doing this. When I said we are the only one of our kind, State of Mentel is the only one of our kind, the only future intelligence movement. And that's real. Aya, looking for the sun. We'll be right back. What are some of the movements that young black people are coming in contact with today? Gang culture. See all the Bloods, the Crips, they forming a family, they forming families, they forming communities, got their flag and everything. Trying to develop a system, see, because our people are systematic by nature. They want to follow a structure. They can't sit in a room with a bunch of people who are just a loose band of nuts talking about black power, ashe. They can't do that. You understand? They would rather be, they want something that's structured. They want something that has some sort of rules and regulations. That's why, really why the black man goes to jail. I always say that, why do you think the black man goes to jail? It ain't because he's a criminal, but he's going there because he'll either go to jail or he'll go to the army or the armed forces, because in there it gives him the structure that he craves. It gives him the regularity. It gives him a what's the word I'm looking for? It gives him a mission. It gives him a goal or a direction. It gives him a purpose. That's what I was looking for. It gives him a purpose. That's why he does that, because he doesn't know his purpose up until that point. That's why he joins the gang. He goes to jail. He goes for structure. He goes for direction. Because 9 times out of 10, that boy ain't got no father in his life to give him direction, to set a structure up. He don't come from a family that has some sort of dynamic of order. So he's searching for that. That's why he joins the gangs. Or he'll go amongst his friends, and the new thing with the black man, if he ain't in the gang, they're homosexuals now. You'll see a whole band of homosexual young black men together walking in a crew. They set up a structure under that. And you got some young black men who might not even be gay. They acting like they gay just to be up in that whole clique, just to be accepted and be part of something. So our people want to be a part of. Young people want to be part of something. They looking to be part of something where they can fit in and register in, and and be, have some sort of direction. Because it's not natural for our people to move into the future as individuals. It's not natural for them. Because they're looking for identity, they're looking for where they fit in. Wherever our people are at in the world, they'll always look to find their own. You can go to a place where you ever get lost in a place where you see all white people and you get nervous, and then you start thinking like, damn, where the black people at? See, so you naturally are searching to be amongst your own. That's a natural instinct in you, to be amongst your own. Same thing with white people. If they go someplace and they see all black people, they're gonna start looking for the white people. Where the white people at? That's a natural thing. It's a natural instinct. You understand? They're trying to strip that out of our people. They're trying to strip it from us. That we don't look at our people as brother and sister no more. We don't do that no more. Where we just, you got the black women. Some of them want to be amongst the white man and around white people and just like act like them and trying to mimic them. Some of our people are like that. They stripping that away from our people who who they are. We don't want to be amongst our own. We don't want to look at our own people or people who think like us. We don't want to look like us. We don't want to be like that. So we seek out people who are structured and look like us. We do that purposely. Like I said, we'll try and find it anywhere. And we are not, like I said, that's why if you notice with a lot of these things, these conscious things, it doesn't really draw a lot of young people like teenagers and kids in their 20s and whatnot. These are the kids that are joining gangs. They're the ones, they with their friends, and they clicked up with their friends and whatnot because they're trying to establish some sort of cultural bonding thing with their friends. They're not trying to go and be amongst a bunch of people who are, have an individualistic mindset, because the majority of those people that go to those things, they have an individualistic mindset. When they set up organizations and try to come together, they still coming in with an individualistic mindset. They only in it for what can I get for myself. They're not thinking about the group and the collective. They're not thinking about what can the group get from me. What can I get, what can we do for the group? Because when you're doing for a group, when you're together as a family, the family eats together. The family that eats together stays together. The family that evolves together will stay together. The family that grows together will stay together. Everything's emphasized what we're doing in the state of Mentel as family. When I travel, when I'm walking, you always see me with 2 or 3 brothers. I'll always be with 2 or 3 brothers with me. Eventually, it'll be sisters by my side, too. We move as a family. Whatever, if I got a problem, I could go to them. If they got a problem, they could come to me. That's how we live. We a family. There's no, yeah, all right, brother, well, whatever, brother, peace, brother. I feel bad for you, brother. You got a money problem, you got a money issue. Peace, brother, I feel bad for you. I wish I could help you out. No, I got the money in my pocket to help him. But I got to be worrying about, man, I don't want to get a nigga no money. That's that individualistic mindset. And I shouldn't have to worry about giving you anything because I should know you. You should know me. We should know each other as a people, as brothers. That's how the Jews do. They work together. There's a trust there because they have the same, they believe in the same thing. They got the same flag. Our people still not getting that. They don't understand that in order to move together into the future, you have to have the same ways of thinking. You have to be together mentally as one. The Jews, they got that six-pointed star. They got they black, even if they ain't dressed in the Orthodox get-up and things like that, even if they ain't got no beards on their face, they still recognize that they Jews, the ones who clean-shaven, they'll throw their yarmulkes on anytime, and they'll go and they'll sit amongst their Orthodox brothers, and that's cool. I like that. You understand? They together. They are together. That's real black unity. Real unity. I give them props, and I'm not, kissing nobody's butt and nothing like that. I'm being real. That's real unity. You got to recognize it is what it is. It's real unity. They got a cooperation with each other. They cooperate with each other. That's how they're able to form the corporations and things like that. Because I used to always teach in my class that one of the ways that you achieve and you become successful in business, talking about corporations and things like that, there has to be a cooperation. That means that you have to cooperate with each other. You have to work in an operation coactively or together with one another. In order for it to be successful, you have to cooperate. Same thing in the marriage with a man and a woman. Y'all have to cooperate, meaning y'all have to steer that ship or steer that relationship together as co-equals, as equals together. You have to coexist and cooperate together, or else it's not going to work. That's what we have to have. I'm not advocating because brothers came up to me and said, "Oh, brother, well, can we be part of what you're doing and still be down with what we with? I can keep my own." No, you can't. No, you cannot. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because we're going to give you something better than your beliefs. We're going to give you something better than the Quran. We're going to give you something better than the Bible. We're going to give you something better than Egyptology. We're going to give you something better than metaphysics. And we're going to give you something that's not in rituals and going round about. We're going to give you something that is continuous and ongoing like a straight line, never to return. We're going to give you intellect. That is God knowledge. That is supreme being knowledge. That's what we're teaching in the state of Mentel, something that will last our people forever. Now, I know we're making that claim. That's a hell of a claim to make, but like I said, it's going to feed our people mentally, physically, financially, and everything. That's what we're offering our people if our people are willing to step up and really change. Because I made a bet with the brother. I said, a lot of our people, brother said, yeah, our people want to change. I said, yeah, our people want to change as long as they don't have to change themselves. They want change to come as long as they don't have to change themselves. I said, it's not going to work. That's like saying, oh, I'm going to get better. I want to get better, but I'm not going to take the medicine. I just want to get better, but I don't want to take the medicine. I just want to get better, but I don't want to take the pills. I don't want to take the medicine. I don't want to do what I got. I don't want to ingest it. I don't want to live that way. I don't want to, be an example. But I want things to get better. Then you don't really want things to get better. You don't want things to change for the future. You don't want to be a part of the change because you don't want to change yourself. And those people who don't want to cooperate, we don't want to talk to you. You understand? You working against us. So anybody that's not working with the order, you're working against it. Straight up. We're not going to waste time because there's many of our people out here who want better. Brother Bay, we see you. We definitely coming to Baltimore. We're going to make this thing happen. We got CDs, we got books, we got all this coming. We're going to raise our people up. Let's be that pioneer. Let's be those pioneers and whatnot that we need to be to raise up our brother and whatnot. Let's be, be that the new, that like what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad did when they had the Nation of Islam in their hands. This is our Nation of Islam in this day and time. The state of Mentel is our Nation of Islam in this day and time in the future. This is our building. You understand? This is our community. We don't have to share religion with nobody. You understand? We don't have to share names and share flags with nobody. The Arabs are not our brothers. They are not our people. You understand that? They're not our people. The black man and black woman need a knowledge, a supreme knowledge that's going to put them on a pedestal. We not a real knowledge, not no made-up knowledge. What we giving them intellect is a real knowledge that's going to put our people on a pedestal and put our people at the forefront. We're not giving our people no knowledge that's going to just make them equal with everybody else because we don't desire the equality with everybody else because you're not equal to us anyway. We don't desire to fit in with nobody or be a part of or share a flag or share an ideology. We don't want to be the black nothing as added on to your group. We don't want to be the black Christians. We don't want to be the black Muslims. We don't want to be the black Israelites. We don't want to be the black metaphysicians. We're going to be the mentalists. That's it. bright race. That's it. We're not going to exist as your black counterpart no longer. We're not going to be the shadow in your image. See that? You see that? We're not going to be the shadow in nobody's image anymore. Because I don't give a damn what nobody say. They could talk all that crap all they want to about, yeah, the black man is God, but you still sharing a religion with the Arabs. You still sharing some Allah. You still sharing some book with the Arabs. They're not our people. We're not sharing no names with them. We're going to have our own names. Mentelian names. We're going to have our own language. Mentelian language. We're going to have our own flag. State of Mentel flag. The supreme intellectual. We're going to have our own everything. All based in higher intelligence. Not no made up stuff off the top of our head. All based in higher intelligence. Unlike these people's doctrines who are made up. You understand? Under somebody's ideologies. Mentellect is not an ideology. It's not nothing I made up. Mentellect is mental intelligence. Mental intelligence and higher intelligence was here way before I got on the scene, way before I came on the planet Earth. We are mental intelligence. We are the real mental intelligence that's driving this thing, even though it's being hampered down, even though it's being dumbed down. But we are the actual and ultimate natural intelligence that's driving this thing, that started this thing moving forward in a logical procession. We started this. Or did we forget? Obviously we did. That's why we sitting up under submission to some Allahs and some Qurans and some Bibles and some Abrahams and some stories about a bunch of people in a book that don't matter. We are a God race. We are an 괡ᴜᴛ race. We don't have no equals. We're not praying to anybody. We're not in submission to anybody. We are in mission or emitting or part of a mission, an emission. We are not supposed to be in submission to anybody. That's the humans that's supposed to do that. And it was so at one time. But a lot of these Negroes out here who got a defeatist mentality, who have a defeatist attitude, who want to just fit in, who got wants and desires to be like everybody else. They want to pull us down and tell us, well, who y'all think y'all is? Why y'all trying? What's this y'all trying to do? Y'all trying to be, what's this made up stuff? No, because we putting ourselves on pedestals and we want to move forward in the future, and we putting ourselves up in pedestals, and y'all don't like it because y'all got a low self-esteem. You all got low self-esteem. You don't really want to be God like you claim to be. So you know what? We're going to do it for you. We ain't going to do it for you. We're doing it for us. This is necessary. Sometimes you got to run face forward into the, into the future, man. You got to run into the future. Don't matter if it ain't a lot of people with us in the beginning. That's okay. That's okay. I'm not worried about that. I don't want everybody with me in the beginning. I know it's not for a lot of people. I already know a lot of our people. I already saw a lot of our people are not moving into the future. It's not going to happen. For you black people, if y'all sincere about this, like I said, we'll pick up our people on the way. You understand that? Exactly. Becoming more of, or coming out of the black race. A new people. Because the black race is dead for the future. That's dead. You understand that? You got too much confusion. You got too many people telling you what black is. Black is hip-hop. Black is revolution. Black is Islam. Black is this. Black. It's too much confusion. Too many different thoughts. When we say state of intellect is just one thing. It's bright knowledge. It's intelligence. That's just one thing. Out of many, one. Out of many, one. The Most High, the true and living God, Amen, deals with one. He doesn't deal with many. He deals with one. And that one is responsible for dealing with many. That's where you get your religions and your ideologies from, that's dispatched and given to these people. You understand? You give them that peon knowledge. You give them old books and things like that they can govern themselves by. You don't give them the elect knowledge. The elect knowledge is for the elect because they can understand the elect knowledge, because the elect knowledge is dealing with truth. It's dealing with evolution. It's dealing with elevation. They don't want that. They want commandments. They want to be governed. They want to be ruled. That's what they want. You understand that? That's what they want. They want that. Our people are finished in the society as far as the future. Like I said, jump off of the ship, people. Jump off of the ship. Go out here. If you really acknowledge this message to be true that I'm giving you, go out. When I get these flyers, when we get the State of Mental, we getting these flyers ready for May and things like that, go out here and spread the word. Help our people. Exactly. Elect knowledge is for the self-governed. Exactly. Self-governed. A body within a body that will eventually grow out of a body, that will outgrow a body. We young, but we supposed to be growing. The black man, the real black men and the real black women, we supposed to be getting tired of how things is going in this society. It should make you sick to look at the black man and whatnot and look at the stagnant and submental way of thinking that they're governed by. When you're looking at when you go into these things and you go in these meetings and you go in amongst the average black man today, if you're not getting physically ill by what you're seeing, the stupidity, the talking about football or sex or some stupidity or some nonsense, some nigga nonsense, or somebody sitting up in some conscious meeting talking about black power this and black power that and some foolishness about, just trying to be loud and be seen in her. If you don't get physically ill by that, then there's something wrong with you. If that don't, if that just don't, it just don't, turn you off, there's something wrong with you. Then you vibrate, and if you get the excitement off of that, if you don't find that to be funny, then you vibrate on that same level with them people. You understand? That means you're in trouble because you're vibrating on that same level with these people. Anytime you can find some power in that, anytime you can find some sort of excitement in that, or some sort of adulation in that nonsense, it's supposed to make a real person physically ill. Because a person who is truly evolutionary, they want to surround themselves with people who are in a state of evolution, who are evolving, an evolving race outside of the black race. They're going to want to surround themselves with those kind of people. You're going to want to be amongst those kind of people. You're not going to want to be amongst the poverty pimps in the church. You're not going to want to be amongst the Quran slammers in the mosque. You're not going to want to be amongst the brothers, the Israelite cats standing on the street cursing out the black woman and all that madness they doing. You understand? You're not going to want to do that. You're not going to want to be amongst the black revolutionaries talking, singing that same song about we got to get some guns and we're going to do this, and you niggas ain't going to do nothing. But go smoke your weed, buy your Timbs and your Yankee cap, and keep singing that marching song. You understand? Nobody want to hear that no more. Nobody wants to hear that. People are interested. People are going to become more and more interested in making themselves better, building themselves as a better people. That's what your focus should be, making you better. Don't focus on nobody else. Focus on making us better. You equals us. Focus on you making yourself better. Us, a knowledge that will make you a better person, that will make you more supreme, that will make you more of a supreme being, that will put you on that road and on that path to becoming supreme, so that your children can look at you and say, I'm proud that's my father. I'm proud that's my mother. I'm proud they doing something. They putting hands into building a school for us. They putting hands into building a university for us, not just grade schools, but we talking about universities down the line, like how the white man built Harvard for his children, built Yale for his children, built all these Ivy League schools, for their children, Stanford. Here it is, the black man had to wait to get money from the damn white man to build his Howard University, build Spelman. They had to wait to get money from them. The white man built somebody, he got to turn around and build your schools for you. You understand that? He got to give you money to build schools for you. How does that look? How does that look as black men, black women? How does that look? That you don't have one school that was built and funded by us. All these rich black people out here, you got a lot of rich black people, not one school that was built and founded and funded by us. Not one motion picture studio. that is owned by us to produce movies by us. You know what I mean? Not one. Yeah, we got the skills, but see, that's the problem. Don't matter if you got the skills. You have black men back in slavery who know how to blacksmith and make guns. They know how to build. They know how to do all kind of stuff. But see, you can't teach a slave to be free. You can't teach a slave to think as a free person. See, these Negroes today, they got a slave mentality still, and they ain't go anywhere. I told you that. That's why they're going to stay stagnant. You're telling them to build something and do something for themselves and build school for their children. They're not trying to do that. That's the first step toward independence. That's the first step toward evolution. Like I said before, the black man, the majority of these people here, they don't want nothing better. They just want the white man to take his foot out of their behinds a little bit. They don't want to, stand up on nothing. You know what I'm saying? They just hope things will get better here, because they only see the change because they've been dependent on the white man forever. So they don't want to stand up and be men. They don't want to. They're scared. I don't care how much you beat on your chest and talk about the black man is God, black power, ashe. You still going to the white man's job. You still sending your kids to his schools. You still begging him for a record contract. You still going to begging him for money for movies, like these black directors doing. You still begging. You still got your hand out, and he knows it, and he loves it. He loves every minute of it. He loves to make your woman act like a whore on television. He loves it. He loves every minute of it because he knows she's desperate for a movie role and she want to be seen and she need the money. So he whores her out. He loves it. And that makes other black women in the future who coming up saying, well, I guess this is what I got to do to make it in the motion picture industry. I got to do whatever. I'll do whatever. That's the future thought you're breathing in their minds. You're not breathing in their minds that, you know what, hey, why don't we get together and start our own motion picture company? So why don't we put stock up on the market? Because how, they could have, think about Spike Lee, think about Magic Johnson, think about John Singleton, all of them. Let's say they just decide to start a motion picture company. Now, they ain't got to put their own money up. I understand making movies is expensive. They ain't got to put their own money up. They just put their name up. They could open up stock on the market and open a public company and get black people. They get Mr. Farrakhan to come because he can draw 1 million people in a 1,000,000-man march, right? He get 1 million people to invest $1. You know what I'm saying? And pledge to invest $1 and buy stock in the black motion picture company, right? They don't even have to put their money up. You have stockholders. That's what the white man does. That's what's called a public corporation, an enterprise. You understand? Public corporation. Make your own movies. You got unlimited capital to make your own movies. Y'all control the stock in the company. You understand that? But they don't think like that. They'd rather beg the white man because that's already in their mind to do that. Their mindset is to have their hand out. You understand? That's in their mindset. They don't understand how to move without putting their hand out first. They don't understand it. I'm talking right now to them, that's not a reality to them. If the white man said, like I said, no more black movies, I don't want to see black faces in no movies no more. Ain't going to be no black faces in no movies no more. And you see it happening already. Obviously, you decided, notice all these black actors, they go into television right now. That's the future for them. Minute you can't see your image up on movie screens on a popular medium like and movies and stuff like that, that's a sign of an end right there where they phasing you out. Anytime you look at the movies, every time you turn around the black man's in the movie, he getting killed off violently by the white man. He's already telling you what he wants your future to be. I saw that new movie Chronicles about a month ago where the 3 boys had the power because they went inside. It was a very good movie. They went inside of some meteorite fell into the earth in their town. They went in, they came out, they had all this magic. They had this futuristic power. I don't like to say the word magic, but this futuristic power. They knew how to fly. They could move things with their mind and stuff like that. And of course, it was 2 white boys and 1 black kid. The first person to die, of course, was the black kid. One of the white kid ended up killing him. You understand? Because he all in love with the white kid, trying to help him out. Oh, come on, we buddies, we friends. And the white kid's like, get away from me, like, I'll leave me alone and whatnot. But the black character got to kiss the white character ass and whatnot. And oh, come on, we all in this together and whatnot. And come on, that's how they got to write the black character until the white boy just kill him. You understand? Gets to get rid of this orphan. So the black man's the first man to go. I was watching X-Men, First Class. You check that scene out. If you didn't see it, you check the scene out where there was a black X-Man, and his name was Darwin. Now, he said his power was to adapt to any environment, right? Now, he put his face in the tank. He looked like a fish. Now, Darwin, what did Darwin teach? He was a white biologist or whatever. He dealt with evolution and things like that, or physical evolution of man to monkey. He was the one that brought that out. Now, it's funny that they would, the black man would call himself Darwin after somebody who taught that man came from monkeys, and they would call black people monkeys and stuff like that, even though Darwin showed that the white man actually and the humans came out of the monkey. But anyway, what happened was when the evil X-Men, the bad X-Men took the black girl who was played by Lenny Kravitz's daughter, what's her name? Zoe Kravitz. She had power. They took her. She wanted to go with the white man and them willingly, but the black man tried to save her from the white man, and of course the white man ended up killing him for trying to save her. So the white man killed off the black man for trying to save the black woman who wanted to go with him in the first place, the white man in the first place. You understand that? These are the messages that they're sending. That's the future. You understand that? That's the future. They want you gone. Starting with the black man. Richard Pryor made a joke a long time ago. He said, I was watching this picture about the future. He said, I ain't see no black people in white people in space. I ain't see no black people in. He said, they don't plan on us being here. Sometimes truth is in jokes and laughter. You understand? But they shouldn't have to plan on us being here. We should be planning on being here ourselves. You understand? We should be planning on being here ourselves. Nobody's going to make a plan for us but us. Don't get it twisted. Don't think these Negroes talking all this black power and, we're going to build this in the economy and stuff like that. Look, these Negroes talk all that stuff. They waiting on a handout. Don't get fooled by that. They want a handout just like everybody else. They ain't no different. You understand? Because if you're not talking about teaching a whole new mindset, a new doctrine, a new mind, a whole new way of thinking, a whole new evolution of a people, raising a flag, a new name and all that, if you're not doing that, if you come up with a whole bunch of generic names just because you want to form an organization to get money like certain people are doing, if you're just doing that, then you're a hustler and a con man, and you, like I say, you trying to serve this thing here. You understand? You ain't trying to serve the people and evolve the people. And like I said, well, the ones of our people who doing that in this day and time, I feel sorry for you, because that hammer is going to drop down on your head, because that hammer is the hammer of Amen. Amen is dictating the evolution of our people. It's not just me. I'm working as an instrument in tune with the true and living God, Amen. The same Amen that you say Amen at the end of your prayers of, who is the true and living God. Not the God, your biblical false religious gods and things like that, and your Quranic gods. I'm talking about the true and living God, who the white man set this society up in the name of. The true and living God, who is Amen. Start with Amen, and we will start our mental progression, our mental evolution. If we don't have any more questions, comments, we're going to be doing the State of Mental Mind Power class is coming soon. We're also going to be doing the State of Mental's. We have. I'm going to post it up on the State of Mental page. The Great Depression, the Great Mental Depression of the Modern Day Black Woman. That's coming out in the next couple of weeks. We were supposed to come out earlier with it, but it will be coming. We're going to solve the depression, the mental depression of the black woman. It's time we start solving our own problems and stop looking to other people to solve our problems who don't look like us. We can solve our own problems. We can move on our own speed. We can take control of our own lives, but we will not be able to do that as calling ourselves Africans, calling ourselves Muslims, Christians, and all these slave and bondage titles that we wore in the past. We got to drop those and start over as pure mind, pure mental people. We have to drop all of those old titles. I'm going to take this call quickly. 313. You're on the air. You got a few minutes because we're about to go. 313.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing fine. Hey, I was just listening to the show, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, you know what I'm saying? You probably like different, you know what I'm saying? Got a different house you come from. But, I feel you 100, you know what I'm saying? For the most part, like, you still got people, cause like I feel like, Black America, Black women, we just done worked ourselves into a position where whether we go left or we go right, it's over, you know what I'm saying? And really people's not really thinking about it like that. They still thinking this stuff from the 60s and the 70s and all this stuff is going to work and it's been already checkmated,
Yeah.
And at this point in the game, you get, and not only that, but the way we think now is that a lot of us, the overwhelming majority of us, rather than change and say, well, this ain't working and we messed up and we have a lot of dysfunctional culture, the dysfunctional culture is not working, we rather just, we all just be destroyed. A lot of us rather than change, they just rather we all just be destroyed, because they rather not change. So it's like you really got to have as radical as the situation is, you have to have an equally radical solution and an equally radical, all this just, we got to do this and that's not going to work.
Are you right, brother? And you right. Where you from?
Well, I'm from Detroit, Michigan.
Okay. Well, and go check out the State of Mentel website. You'll see we do have a radical program within the State of Mentel that we're building, and we're going to start taking classes, going state to state and whatnot, and we're going to raise our people up. So, yeah, we have a radical solution to the problem, and that is a separation in the black race. Those of our people who don't want to do anything on one side, and those of our people who are moving forward. So we have to cause a separation, a mental separation in our people, the intelligent ones from the ignorant ones, because the ignorant ones want to stay stagnant and going in circles and doing the same thing. We're not dealing with that no more. We're moving on.
Yeah, exactly. I feel you 100 because, like, people really think, that this situation can't be over. And it's a situation where if you look at the climate of America, that's why they're going towards the diversity thing. Because that's really our number one enemy, because they're teaching that there's no difference in people, that we're all the same, but at the same time, we still have the same inferiority and the same internal problems. So it's like
that's a lie they telling our people to, calm and soothe our people. That's what you tell people when you easing them on their way out. Okay, when you easing them out the door. But you know what, brother? We about to wrap this up. You stay listening and whatnot. What's your name, brother?
Mike.
Mike. Okay, I'm gonna put your number down, brother. We're going to be in contact. Listen to the show every Monday. We're going to start doing it every Wednesday and Friday as well, but we'll be back on Monday. I'll keep your info around. Stay listening, brother, all right? I am the intellectual 괡ᴜᴛᴜRᴇ. All right?
All right, peace.
All right, peace, brother. Thanks for calling in. And we are about to close it out. This has been